Excuse me. Where can I find mushrooms?
I can't hold you. Use your cunning and your...
Hey, this beret is...
Oh, take it. They'll never...
Thanks.
A vase with fresh flowers rests. Happy birthday, Dad. The other card. Greetings, old boy.
Number 3. Number 3 is hearing... Hello again. Okay, so I've spoken with Old Man Reed.
How's that old bastard doing?
Who?
The girl's been speaking to Old Man Reed.
Let us guess. He's sent you on an errand.
He wants something.
But what?
Something the nurses won't give him.
A top-shelf magazine?
I believe he's beyond that point. This must be something grand. He's about to depart.
Actually, he's asking for...
Mushrooms, we know.
Definitely mushrooms.
Right, okay, good. So, can you help me out?
We can also take advantage of a situation.
Yeah, we're huge fans of bartering.
You give us something we want, and we give you what you want. Or what Reed, may he soon rest in peace, wants, rather.
This had better not be anything indecent.
Look, lady, we just want to laugh.
Indeed. Tell us a joke. It can be intellectual or dirty. We're open-minded.
But funny, obviously.
I tell you a good joke, and you give me some mushrooms for Reed? Very well. Hello again. Hello again. All right, here's a joke for you. A mother told her husband, "The birds and the bees? Sure thing," said her husband. So he took their son for a walk and started explaining. "So, son, remember last summer when you and I went to the countryside?" "Sure," replied the son. "Remember that farm wife and her daughter that we met?" "Yes, I do," said the son. "Remember what we did with those two upon that flowery meadow?" "Yes, Dad, I remember." "Good," said the father. "Well, that's how the birds and bees do it as well."
That was good. Not great, but good enough.
I concur. All right, lady, here's the wares. Go give Reed one great trip.
I hope he sees some interesting birds.
Birds?
He gets visions of weird birds during his trips. He's got a sketchbook full of them.
His interest in real birds was always pretty limited, though. Oh, and don't flash them around. There are narcs operating in the area.
You swallow hard.
Hello again. Excuse me, Mr. I have your mushrooms here.
Ah, terrific. One final ride. How can I thank you, miss?
You'd tell me where you...
Diary? Oh, that silly book. It's in my house, 4th East Parkway. The key is in the bird feeder.
Thank you.
Actually, help yourself with whatever you find there of value. The less I leave for my greedy son, the better.
Got it. Thanks a lot, Mr. Reed.
Now let me see my birds. My favorite ones appear after some mushrooms.
Number 3.
The bird feeder is empty, contrary to Mr. Reed's instructions. You search through the bush and find the magpie's treasure cache. You decide to examine the lock mechanism of the safe. The rather chaotic bookshelf is chock full of all sorts of literature, including reams of notebooks. You find the sketchbook that Reed's friends talked about. You decide to examine. You hear the innards of the safe being set in motion. You browse through the interior of the safe. You find a small lever. You pull it, and the mechanism clanks. You push the handle. The door is now unlocked, and you can enter the inner room. An old fedora rests on the table. Remembering Reed's instructions, you claim the hat as yours. You open the drawer. Along with some stationery, you find an envelope with some Polaroid pictures in it. On the table rests some kind of meeting protocol. It says, Attendance, Leon Martinez, Mortimer Reed, Ann Cooper. Assignment, select a contemporary poem that you would like to be read at your funeral. Next meeting to be held at Ann's. Verba pulchra. You gather that Leon, Old Man Reed, and a certain Ann Cooper had some kind of writing circle together, and that their themes were rather morbid. You look around the room for what could be Leon's diary, but find nothing. You decide that whoever Ann Cooper is, she might know more. Hopefully, she's slightly more coherent than Old Man Reed. On the table, it says, Attendance, assignment, next meeting to be. You gather, you look around you decide that whoever Ann Cooper.
Might have something that is mine, and I need it back. A certain little key. Just cooperate now, for your own safety.
I am cooperating.
Smart.
Here's the key.
Good girl. But am I...
Listen, girl.
The man shows his badge.
I'm Detective York. We'd rather not... I apologize. We'll soap.
Good girl.
You browse, you find us, you pull it. You push the doors. And old, remember, you on the, it said, assign, next meeting, you gather, you look around, you did, on the, it's, next, you gather, you look around, you, there, there.
Hello there.
Hello?
I'll be brief. I believe you might have something that is mine, and I need it back. A certain little key. Just cooperate now, for your own safety.
You posed as me and took something Leon wanted me to have.
Listen, girl, we're undercover cops, alright?
The man shows his badge, which, to your limited knowledge of police documentation, looks legitimate.
I'm Detective York. This is Detective Wells Davidson. We'd rather not blow our cover, but we also can't leave you into
Okay, I'm confused. What's your business with Leon? And why did you pretend to be me and take something Leon wanted me to have?
I apologize for the confusion. I admit, I answered confirmingly when the bartender asked if I was Margo. I was hoping to get vital clues that could help us in our case. But first things first, we need that key.
Very well. I didn't know this was police business.
You hand over the strange brass key.
Good girl. Now stay out of her path. Hey, wait a little. Now that we've blown our cover, let's play with open cards. We're looking for a certain notebook, Leon Martinez's notebook.
If you have it or know where it is, you need to let us know.
When asking for us, use the names Mr. and Mrs. McCarthy.
Once past the detectives, you heave a sigh of relief. You have so many questions, but your heart is racing, and you need to get to a safe place to wind down now. Your heart still racing, you decide to quickly leave the scene and head home for some rest. Within the walls of your headquarters, you try to relax your breathing and collect your thoughts. The photographs show a woman meeting and exchanging things with a young man. You'd say that the photos were taken in secret and that they may be compromising. You'd also say the woman is the lady in red and that the man is Leon.
Number 3.
Excuse. Hello again. I wonder if you could help me out.
We're about to end our shift.
And no, you still can't visit Mr. Reed.
Who may or may not be a...
I see. I just wondered if you happen to know anything about a certain Mrs. Cooper, who's been a frequent visitor to Mr. Reed.
Are you for real?
We're a hospice. Have you heard of confidentiality?
Sorry, I'll leave you alone. Excuse. Good evening.
I'm sorry, but it's Pat.
Oh,
We can't discuss patient...
Hello again.
We're about to end our shift.
And no, you still can't.
Who may...
I see.
Are...
We're a hot.
Sorry.
So, speaking of which, did you visit that Mrs. Cooper yet?
Sure did. Love that stuff.
So how was it?
Oh, she played them tarot cards all right.
What? And you haven't told me?
I was gonna wait until I knew if it was legit or not.
And when will you know that?
I'll know when Dr. Schumacher comes back on Monday.
Your future involves Dr. Schumacher?
Apparently, he'll leave his wife this weekend.
That's pretty detailed, coming from a tarot reader.
I may have read a little extra into it myself.
Where's she located?
She has some kind of spiritual bookshop on Chamberlain Street.
You're pretty sure you now have the information you needed.
Speaking of...
Still delusional and agitated. Keeps ranting about secret agents coming to steal that book of his.
So the new meds aren't kicking in?
Nah.
I'll stop by later. Room 9, right?
You now know that Mr. Reed is indeed a patient here, and that he stays in room 9.
As long as it's only him. Remember Mrs. Goldstein? She said she...
Yeah, but only when she leaned really close to his head. Miss that silly lady.
Good evening.
Good evening, young lass.
I was gonna visit the bookshop. Is that possible?
It is. But not now. The lady is having a session and cannot be disturbed.
Is the lady a certain Anne Cooper?
Aye, indeed.
Very well. When is she done with her session?
She has more plans for tonight. She's headed for a wake once she's done with her session.
Right. And you're her associate?
I help her with certain tasks. And who are you, nightly wanderer?
I'm Margo.
You can refer to me as her factotum. I assist with many things.
Such as guarding her door? Why not just lock it?
Because she said there's a slim chance a certain member might appear. I am to let that member inside.
A member of her writing circle?
I suspect neither of us is privy to that information. My smoke! I forgot it wasn't lit. Sure, much obliged.
Here you go.
But it's your very last match. I shan't let you wander into this dark night with no light to guide you.
Well, when you put it that way, maybe I should hold on to this source of light a bit more. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I was gonna.
It is, but not now.
Is?
I.
Very well.
She.
Right, and you.
I.
I'm Mark.
You.
Such as a member of her.
Sure.
Here you go.
But it's your.
Well. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Mrs. Cooper is lucky to have such a steadfast girl to help her. Just seems like a waste having you stand here like a human door buzzer.
Oh, I do a bit of everything around the shop. I also handle all of the electrical installations. I'm a keen tinkerer.
I see.
Between you and me, sometimes your sessions work better with a little help from sounds and lights.
Good evening.
Number 3. Miss, we're closed for the night.
As long as it's...
Hey there. One.
Sure. Okay, and the next... Okay, and the next... Okay, here's your...
Thanks. Hey there. Hey there. Hey there. So,
business with
graveyard.
Well...
Well,
Ha! That's... How...
he just. Oh, must be.
He's like... Sure. And the next... And... Here's...
That.
You dispose of the previous. As you approach the hotel, you can spot the.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I was gonna visit.
It is, but not
Is
I.
very well.
She
Right, and you.
I.
I'm Mark.
You can refer to me
Such as guarding her.
because she said there's
A member of her.
I suspect neither of us is. I smoke. Sure.
Here you go.
But it's your very last match. I shan't let you wander into this dark night with no light to guide you.
Well, when you put it that way, maybe I should hold on to this source of light a bit more.
The dumpster may contain.
Hey there! Hi, Margo! Where's Susie?
She said she'd join.
I'm sure it'll.
Wow, well.
A friend.
You gain. Your. These matches have been blessed with.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Mrs. Cooper's luck just seems like a.
Oh, I do a bit of everything.
I see.
Between you and me.
These matches have.
Good evening.
Good evening.
You push the door is on the tape. It says, "Assign next meet." You look around. You just on the tape. It's assign next. You look. You on the tape. It's next. You look. You is what. Your heart's still racing. Within the wall, it's exist. This As you approach, your heart still within the wall.
Number 3.
Excuse. Good.
I'm so
Oh,
We can't.
hello.
and no.
Who may.
I see.
We're a
Sorry.
We're.
and
Who.
I see.
we're a hospital.
Sorry.
So, speaking of which, did you visit that Mrs. Cooper yet?
Sure did. Love that stuff.
So how was it?
Oh, she played them tarot cards all right.
What? And you haven't told me?
I was gonna wait until I knew if it was legit or not.
And when will you know that?
I'll know when Dr. Schumacher comes back on Monday.
Your future involves Dr. Schumacher? This is juicy!
Apparently, he'll leave his wife this weekend.
That's pretty detailed, coming from a tarot reader.
I may have read a little extra into it myself.
Where's she located?
She has some kind of spiritual bookshop on Chamberlain Street.
You're pretty sure you now have the information you needed.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I was gonna.
But not
Is
I.
very well. She right. And you.
I.
I'm Mark.
I sure.
Here you go. Well, you so
I.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I was gonna visit the bookshop.
But not now. The lady.
Is
I.
very well. She right. And you.
I.
I'm
I sure.
here you go.
But it's your.
Well, you such a
Because I suspect.
Number 3 is hearing that sound again.
As long as it's only him. Remember Mrs. Goldstein? She said she heard that sound too.
Yeah, but only when she leaned really close to his head. Missed that silly lady.
Hello, Miss. Hey, Margo. Sure, yeah.
You had Lois. The photograph you'd You're You have its exist. You have its this. This. Its existence. Your You have its existence. Your Its exist. Your It is the early having this night.
So,
And
yeah,
there's
we talked
rear just
very.
my step. Yep, I think
That's great. So,
the we
so one is. You're one. Hey, sorry. Now,
You return. You open your. Only a few. You. You're You could. You doze off when you also. Its exist. This.
Long time.
B. The assembly.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I was gonna.
But not
Is
I.
very well.
She.
Right, and you.
I. And
I'm Mark. So,
I. You.
I can.
Still not.
Well,
Very.
right.
Good luck.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Mrs. I see.
Sure.
Here you go.
But it's your
Well,
You try the handle. A strange board with electrical switches catches your attention. You like these.